Hey everybody, Puffin here. Today I have a dance tutorial for you all. Over the past few months, maybe a year-ish, I've received multiple requests for a dance tutorial for the choreography for Dr. Funk Beat. So that's what I have for you right now. I'm reading my script off my phone because I have a lot of things to say for this particular introductory video. So sit tight. Dr. Funk Beat is one of the most well-known songs by Vocaloid producer Nyanyannya. And in 2016 it debuted in the Magical Mirai live concerts with the choreography that I have since learned how to dance and have made several dance videos for. If this song strikes your fancy, be sure to look up Nyanyannya's many other songs, check out his Twitter or his website, or even support him on Patreon for sneak peeks and future song releases and other artistic developments. Now, before I get into teaching the dance, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of a disclaimer. This choreography is quite difficult and complex, even for me with my years of dance experience, and as a result, I would not recommend this for your beginning dancers. If this is the first dance you're learning, you probably will have some trouble with it. So depending on the reception for this tutorial, I might make more dance tutorials in the future, including those for easier choreographies that are much more suitable if this is going to be your first time dancing or learning a choreography. So let me know what you think about that idea. If you want to build a little bit more experience before you try it, there are plenty of other quite simple Vocaloid choreographies out there that are equally fun that you can learn. The first dance I ever learned was Yevon Polka, so if you look up a MMD for that, then you can probably learn it just by watching. It's very easy, and there's quite a few others out there that are good as well. The complexity of this particular dance is also the reason I'm going to be breaking up this tutorial video into several parts that you can tackle one at a time and at your own pace. So if you're watching this video right now as it's released, then be sure to stay tuned for future updates, and I'll try to get them out in as timely a manner as I can. So if you're okay with everything I just said, let's get started. If you haven't already, make sure you look up a video of the whole dance to Dr. Funk Beat so you know what the choreography looks like. I have several dance videos for it. The newer ones are probably the better ones because more practice means I mess up less. But when in doubt, trust the tutorial because I'll be making sure everything in this video is accurate. In addition to that, I also highly recommend getting really familiar with the original song Dr. Funk Beat by listening to it over and over. Because many of the moves in this choreography depend on uneven rhythms and beats dictated by instruments of the song that you may not be able to easily pick up on if you've only heard it once or twice. So I would highly recommend that you listen to Dr. Funk Beat a lot before you start to learn this dance. Alright, so that's all of the introduction I have for the particular tutorial, so without further ado, let's dance! Okay, so for this very beginning part of the dance, we have beat, beat, oshawase ni dozo. That is Dr. Funk Beat's catchphrase. It means get happy soon. So on each of those first two beats, they get a pose. The first pose looks like this, and the second one looks like this. So for that first pose, you're going to want to put your weight on your right foot and pop your left knee / hip or whatever, so your foot is pointed and your weight is off of it, so it kind of comes upward, like so. And your right hand is going to come up kind of in front of your forehead like this. You don't want to block your eyes, but it'll be kind of more up here, and your palm is facing out. So that's this pose here, and you hold this pose for the one beat. And then on the second beat, you switch poses to the second one, where you shift your weight to your other foot so that your right foot, quote-unquote, pops or comes up, and you drop your right hand, and then your left hand is the one doing the action here. It's going to come out like this with the palm facing towards the ground, and you look at it. So that's our first two poses. Beat, beat. Then this goes straight into the lyrics. You bring your right foot in, and then as you do that, your right hand is going to come up in front like this. So pretend you're like a cool, fancy butler or something. And you hold this for oshawase ni. And then on dozo, you're going to go up into that Y pose I just did, at which point you're going to like circle your wrists like this as you go into it, so that it ends in a flick like this. And as you can see I was doing, while you're doing that, you're also going to step forward with your right foot. I mean, not like big step, just put it out a little bit so it's in front of the left one. And then that pose ends up like this. And you can look up a little bit while you're doing it if you want. Okay, so that's that first little part. If we put it all together, it goes pose, pose, oshiyase ni dozo. Okay, so on to the next part. You just hit your pose where you look like the letter Y and your right foot is forward. It's important that this detail is correct because the next thing you do is lower your arms like this while keeping them straight. And as you're doing that, you're going to circle your right foot around to your right so that it comes behind you. Except that goes way faster, as you can probably guess. So it ends up looking more like this. And then as your right foot comes behind you, all the way back here, like to the left side even, you're going to shift your weight onto it and switch it. As it comes around to this left side, you put your weight back on it briefly, and then bring it back forward as you put your left foot down. So you end up in this pose facing stage right with your right foot forward. And this stance is a little bit wide. It ends up being more like this when you're actually doing it at full speed because you don't have the time to move that far. But as soon as your right foot comes down, they come back up, and you roll your wrists a little. After you do your wrist circles, while you're doing them, your weight is going to be on your left foot, which is the back. You come up into this pose where you shift your weight forward onto your right foot, which causes your left knee to bend a little bit. And your right hand is going to be up like this with your palm facing upward, and your left hand just comes down in a flourish like this, with the palm facing downward. And you can look up a little bit if you want. And so this is where knowing the song really well comes in handy, because this follows a rhythm that's really hard to explain just by musical terms. So if you're listening to the song, the instrument goes bum bum ba da ba, and that's the rhythm you're going to want to be following. So you just hit the Y pose, and it goes do 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 do, and there you are. That's how it goes. Oops. So you're here, you just hit your other pose. You're going to leave your left hand where it is. It's not going to move. Sometimes in my videos you'll notice I have a tendency to do this and put it on my hip or similar, which makes an interesting shape, but that's not how the original choreography goes. For the next couple beats, you're going to bring your right hand down in front of you like this, but still with your fingers together and your palm inward. So like it's circling your head. And then there's two quick beats right before the start of the next measure, which is going to look like this. Your right hand has come down this far, and then it comes up, down. And your head follows it a little bit. You're looking that way with your eyes. And as you do the up, down, you're going to shift your weight between your feet. So it ends up going up, down. So altogether, that looks like this. You're here. Yeah, so that's that. From the beginning, putting everything together, it goes pose, pose, oshiyase ni dozo, da 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 da, da 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 da, boom boom. Yeah? Want to do it with music? Okay, here we go. Next thing we're going to do is step out, so kind of, in a sense, it's basically backwards, but I'm going to say out, towards that way. Out with our left foot and slowly shift our weight onto it and kind of bring our right foot in to match it. So there's 4 poses you're going to hit as that's happening. So the first one is just reach out the opposite way with the right hand, so to the right. The next one, you're about here, is out, like this. So hand towards the audience. The third one, which you're going to hit right about as your feet come together, is this. So just bring your hand in, like somewhere around there. And then the fourth one is a bit tricky because right as your right foot comes in, you're going to stick it back out and do this. So right hand goes across you to the left. And these are discrete poses you're hitting, so you're not like really going smoothly between them like this. It's very much a boom, 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 boom. That's how it goes. Next, you're going to just drop your hands and let them chill for a little bit. And as you do that, you're going to do like a knee kick thing upwards with your right leg. And then after you do that, you want it to land far back again, and you're going to shift your weight onto it. And as you do that, your left leg is going to swing around to the back and then switch direction once it touches, doesn't touch, but once it gets close to your right foot. And then you're going to go backwards along this diagonal here, which is forward or downstage and stage right, so that you end up facing kind of the opposite way you just were. So all together in one motion, it looks like this. Knee kick, swing, and there you go. And then you're going to use your listening ears and listen for the bum 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 ba ba da ba, because that's the next part your footwork is going to go on those beats. And that footwork is going to land on that left foot, which is why it's so important that you have your weight on your right foot and you're swinging your left foot around. There's 3 steps just like that. 1, 2, 3. So for clarification, that's you. Step 1 is weight down on your left foot. Step 2 is switch back to your right foot. And then 3 is put your left foot down in front of you like this. For most of that time, you're not going to be doing anything with your arms, but right at the end, you're going to go into a pose, again, because Funk Beat likes his poses, clearly, where one of your hands is going to be raised upwards and to the left, and the other one is downwards and to the right, making this kind of diagonal line here. As your left foot is going down first, you bring your hands in so that when you hit that pose, you have that sense of motion. So all together, those movements look like this. So you hit your bum bum ba da ba. And so the next rhythm repeats again. Bum 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 ba da ba. So let's just do the legs first. On the 2 beats that are stronger, on the da da da, so the first and the third one. First one is you're going to step out with your right foot, and then on the 3rd beat, you kind of tuck your left leg in like this. Your weight is on your right foot, but your left toe is back there. And you don't want to put your weight on it because you're just going to move it again. But that's the feet. So, with the music goes ba-da-ba. Yeah. Alright, now for just the hands. We just hit our pose. Oh, there's going to be a motion for each of those 3 beats. So the first 2 are punches, right, left. So the timing works out, so on that 3rd one, your right hand is just coming down, and you continue that motion, and like tuck your right hand backwards like you're about to punch somebody really hard, and you just let your left hand kind of float out to the side like this. So that's the arms. So putting all those together, it goes ba-da-ba. Okay, and to review the legs, we have ba-da-ba. Right, ready to put those together? Right, so all together on those 3 beats. We are in our pose, and then we have ba-da-ba. Yeah. Over here, we are actually going to punch somebody, sort of. Except Funk Beat's too cool to punch people, so instead, you're going to step out with your left foot while dragging your right arm like this. And as your right arm is swinging downwards, you're going to also drag your right toe inwards, but you're still going to have your weight on your left foot. So you start here, and then like that. You'll note you're not like standing up totally straight while you're doing it, because you were just getting ready to punch somebody. So you keep that kind of bent over stance. And while you're doing this, your left arm is just going to kind of float back here. So let's put together everything in that little chunk so far since our last chunk. We just did our 4 poses. Kick, swing, step, 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 punches, drag. As you finish that dragging motion, there's a pickup to the start of the next measure, which coincides right about with when your right foot comes back together with your left foot. So as you hit that pickup, you're going to get ready for the next move, which involves bringing your arms up like this. I'm not sure how to describe this pose, but this is what you do. On the next beat, you're going to step out with your right foot again and come back over here. And as you're doing that, This move is a little bit hard to explain, so I apologize in advance, but it looks like this. And the motion, I think, largely is going to come from your shoulders and elbows. So we just did this weird step elbow thing. Then once your feet are back together and you're on this side, you're going to throw your arms down and back like this. As you're throwing your arms down, you're going to step back with your right foot, and then not really step forward when you put your weight down on your left foot, but move it a little bit so that it crosses in front of the right foot. So all in one motion, we have that. So you are here, and pay attention for this next part because it's complex and there's like 3 different things going on at once, but after this is the easy part, so that's the good news. First thing that's happening, you are stepping forward and around with your right leg and then continuing so that you end up spinning all the way around and end facing forward / downstage again. So the way that works is you swing your right leg around and then just put it, when it can't go any farther, you just put it down and then you can pivot, which unfolds your legs and then keep pivoting so that they're crossed again. So that's one of the 3 things that's going on. And you'll notice you end up in much of a very similar position to where you started. The second thing that's going on is you take your left hand and stick it out like this. You kind of come across with it first and then do like an outward sweep, but it never goes past the line that is your shoulder that is perpendicular from forward. It never goes past this 90-degree angle here. Just keep that in mind. That's at the same time as this is happening. So it ends up looking like that. As you spin, you're going to drop your left arm so that it just comes back to your side wherever when you're in a neutral position when you're done. Okay, so that's the 2 things of the 3 things that are happening. The third thing that happens is your right arm is going to, I don't even know what to call this motion, but that's what you're doing. You're circling it above your head like this. So it's coming from this backwards position, same as your left arm, but it comes above your head like that. So that's the third thing that's happening. And all together, those things look like this. Yes, that's it obviously goes much faster in the actual dance, but here you go again. Just throw your arms back and you have your left foot in front of your right foot. 3 things that are happening. 1, your left arm arcs in the front. 2, your right leg comes around. 3, your right arm is doing a circling thingy. Your left arm drops, and then you're here. So the rhythm for that part goes da 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 da, and those last 2 beats are going to be the important ones. You just kind of drop it so that it ends up down here at the end, right? Well, on the first of those last 2 beats, you're going to do a hit out like this, like you're swatting a fly. And you want to hit it on that 1 beat. And then on that second beat, you reach upward with your right arm like this. And as you're reaching up with that right arm, yeah, you drop your left arm. So you did your hit, and on your second hit, your left arm doesn't matter anymore. So yes, all together, that one little chunk. Let's do it. So we're here. We have our left foot in front. We're going to do our 3 simultaneous things. Leg, swipe, circle, hit, hit. Okay, can we do that whole chunk from the beginning? Let's find out. Alright, just did our 4 poses. Here we go. Kick, out, circle. Bum, bum, bum. Ba-da-ba. Ba-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. One thing about the swipe and then the hit, sometimes because of just how dang fast the song is, they can end up being kind of continuous. Like maybe you'll do your swipe and you'll do your hit, and in which case your arm may not drop all the way, which is fine. The important thing is that you have those 2 moves in there. You don't have to like rush to go, okay, I swipe and I go out and I come back up. No, that's fine if you don't do that. Okay, let's do that chunk with music. That's the chunk we just learned, and if you can do that, you can now do the whole introduction to Dr. Funk beat. Shall we try it with music? Let's do it. So yes, that is the whole introduction to Dr. Funk beat. That is difficult part number 1. Then it gets a little bit easier for the first few verses, and then you hit the chorus, which the good news is it repeats, so once you learn it, you've learned it. The bad news is it's really complex, and it took me by far the longest to learn out of any of the chunks of the dance. I think it probably took longer than it took me to learn the rest of the dance, all the parts combined. But once you know it, and you can use it 1 or 2 more times in the dance. That's good. So yeah, I think that's where I'll wrap up this week's video. Next time I upload a tutorial video, we'll go into the parts leading up to the chorus, and the chorus may or may not end up being its own video. More likely yes than no, because it's just so complex. I'll probably have to make a really long video for it. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. Happy practicing. Obviously, this is a really fast song, so one thing that's helpful for me, slow it down by about 20%, so you end up with a track that is 80% the speed of the original song. And then you can use that to work up to the speed of the full song, so that when you're practicing, you can go quite a bit slower, but still be going to the music. Keep practicing until you can go at 100% speed. Those are my tips for you. I hope you enjoyed this video, so keep your eyes out for more Dr. Funk beat dance tutorials. I feel like I should hit a pose. There it is. And if you like costumes dance or costumes dance, that's what I usually do with my YouTube channel. So like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you are interested in seeing more dances in costume, especially if you like Vocaloid. Yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.